Yeah, you can just say that we all got introduced ourselves. Yeah.
So hi all, I'm Arun. I'm here representing Yukti Global Services Private Limited. We provide full spectrum services to global companies who are planning to set up in India. That is what we are into. I hope this association with Indo-American Chamber of Commerce can help us reach it.
Thank you. So, Mr. Sudhir, over to you now.
Just a minute, sir. Just. Good afternoon. Everybody's afternoon doesn't seem to be that great. Okay. So let me see whether I'll leave the evening better than what we started off. Maybe much more confused. We'll see how it goes, right? So the coverage today, which I will be doing, is that which Mr. Ganesh has already touched upon while he was talking about today's topic, is that first we'll understand where the department intervention happens. Because this is one of the common things which I listen when the trade comes. All of a sudden I get some notice there, sometimes they call it ASMT, sometimes they'll call it as DRC. So I don't know what notice is what and what is the jurisdiction and who can do what. So let's spend some time to understand various intervention, how department can come and do the intervention and who all can come. So after understanding that, the next thing which is happening more very often is the audits. So we'll understand how the audits has been picked up, how the audit has been done, what is that you need to be there, what is the preparedness to be there. I will also be touching upon few commonly raised audit paras which has been there. What is the reply or anything which you need to submit so that that gets strong. So that is something which we'll be doing. We'll also be touching on do's and don'ts while doing the reply to the notices and also the best practices what you could do so that you could avoid notices, right? So that is something which we'll be taking. So this is a small slide which gives a summary of various interventions which can happen. The first one, most of us are aware that GST, similar to the service tax and central excise offline, is a self-assessment mechanism. So there is no assessment by the department. You have to make your own self-assessment. That self-assessment is by filing your GSTR 3B returns. Even GSTR 1 is also part of your self-assessment. Monthly you do your assessment. So your self-assessment is being taken as the final assessment unless until there is some other intervention which has been happening. So one of the things which is also there as a provision is that it will also give you a option of doing a provisional assessment. So in some cases you may not be in a position on 20th to ascertain the actual liability. Maybe because of what of proper transaction data or maybe a valuation and things like that. So there is an option that you could provisionally assess, but there is no much great benefit of going for a provisional assessment because if you are short paid, you have to pay along with interest. If you have excess paid, you will get a refund without interest. So there is no fun in going for a provisional assessment. Might as well in 3B you do your assessment what you think, and if required again you make a additional payment or make an adjustment by a report. So thereby it was not famous even in service tax era and also in the GST, but there is a provision. So the intervention which can happen, the starting intervention is by the scrutiny of return, which is given under section 61. So what is scrutiny of the return? So it is a process where the officer will verify your returns, just your returns, not any other supporting documents, and he will see if there is an apparent error in your returns which they will be able to identify, which leads to short payment of tax or non-payment of tax or excess availment of input tax. If so, he can issue a notice. This notice is called as ASMT, which has been issued, or for information. If it is valid, confirm it by an order, which is an appealable order. If not, it can drop it. So, what sort of a notices is this? I'll just give you a simple example. My returns is having both taxable turnover, exempted turnover. I am also having common input tax credit. I have taken common input tax credit, right? So the law says I will not give you full credit. I will give you a credit only to the proportion of your taxable turnover. I am talking about only the common credit, not the entire credit. So a person who is looking at the returns, he can easily identify. See, this person has done a taxable turnover of 80. exempted turnover of 20, but there is one particular column which asks me to reverse under 42, rule 42. That is common credit reversal. There it is 0. Right? So that means there is something which he has not reversed, he has not followed the law. Like this, there are about 10, 15 pointers which they will be able to identify by the returns itself. Maybe your HSM classification itself, because we give a GSTR one, we give classification. Apparently, the HSM classification is 18%, but I am paying 5%, which is clearly evident from my returns. No supporting documents is required. Those sort of things is 661, they can call for the ASMP, and within the time limit it will be passed. So this is what it is. So somebody was telling that system generated notices, right? The system generated. So what the government of Telangana did is they hired a team of IITs. They wrote the book of GST to them and told that this is the law, these are the logics which is been available. Through my returns, you give me a program which is going to do this manual scrutiny, automated scrutiny of the returns instead of manual intervention. Like the point what I told. So the program has to go and check table 1, which is exempted. If it is there, it will go another table, it will check whether the reversal is there. If answer is no, then system will throw out and generate the notices. So like that they gave certain logics, and a tool was developed, and an auto-generated tool was been sent. The first time when it was sent about 40,000 notice was generated one single day, only in Telangana. It was floated. I am talking about 17, 18. But Telangana government, for some reason, instead of opting for ASMT, they opted for giving it as a show cause notice under section 73, which I am going to come there. Why? They gave it as a show cause notice, right? But what they failed to do is they failed to understand the business practice. Okay. One simple thing what they did is automobile, cars. We are not eligible for credit unless until we are a rent-a-cab operator or we are doing a learning, what is that? Driving school. If you are running a driving school, otherwise you are not eligible. But my vendor, when I went and purchased with Hyundai or somebody, he told, this is a company, are you registered for GST? We told yes, and we gave a GST number. Because for them it is a B2B transaction, they have to mandatorily do a B2B assessment. That came and sat in my GSTR 2A. I am a bona fide assessee. What I told, a car is not eligible. I never took it in the credit. But what law was required? I was supposed to take the credit and reverse it as this is a ineligible credit under section 17 subsection 5. I did not do this practice. So thereby, notice automatically generated. Now the challenge is, practical challenge is, I have to go to the officer and told, sir, I have not at all taken the credit. Now the officer is saying, Sudhir, you prove me how you have not taken credit. Right? It is the other way. No? I cannot prove the negative, I can prove the positive. Department can prove you have taken the credit. I cannot prove I have not taken the credit. Right? But nevertheless, we gave the entire statement of ITC. And you told every month on month, you see this month, in this month I have taken 1 lakh rupees. 1 lakh rupees, these are the 5 items. In this 5 items, motor vehicle is not there. Maybe next month you have taken. Okay, sir, no problem. Next month, this is 1 lakh 20, these are the 6 items. It is not there, and we gave for the entire period. Then they got convinced, yes, it is not there, and they are reversed. So one of the points of the mitigating the notices is that proper disclosure as required in the rules. Which is important. Here, if you look at, you have not done anything wrong. Either you take the credit or reverse it, or you don't take the credit at the first stage. Implication is same. We were all doing this. It was well accepted in central excise, service tax, and VAT regime because it was all manual people which is been that. Here we have two challenges. One is officers are not sufficiently trained, which is a fact. Few department officers accept it, few will not accept it, but it's a fact is that they are not sufficiently trained. Second, there is huge automation which has been important, right? Because of the GST and all data which has been available. Because of these two, we should be very, very clear. Had we had done a proper reversal, maybe I would have avoided that entire notice, right? So these are the few things which we could look at. So this is ASMT, which is a return school. Please mind, at the time when the notice is given under 61, he cannot go call for your records, call for your entire tally, ledger account and all, and he cannot do an audit. He doesn't have a jurisdiction. Jurisdiction is apparent face of the returns, what is the error which has happened. A supporting documents if you are giving, he will take and drop it, but he cannot extra call for the returns. Next comes is, there is assessment for unregistered person and presumptive assumption. For a moment, I am leaving that. Next comes is an audit. So audit, there are other set of people who are going to do this section 61. It will be my range officer, whom I am being assessed to, right? Every assessee will be assessed to both state and center, but administratively it will be tagged either to state or center. So if I tag to center, state cannot give this notice. If I have tagged to state, center cannot give the notice under 61. The jurisdiction is very clear, right? Now audit is the next verification. What they do in audit, they will come to our premises. This is what is generally practiced, which is required, because we'll be having volumes of data which we cannot carry to their premises. They will come to our premises and verify whether from your books of accounts have you put it in the returns properly or not. Till now in 61 I was looking whether returns is proper or not. Now I am looking whether your books has come to returns properly or not. Is there anything which you have window dressed in your books and you are not paying the tax? So they can take your agreements, contract, vouchers, everything, and come to a conclusion if at all there is a short payment or excess availability of ITC. So this is the second thing which is happening. Here also, please mind the jurisdiction. The jurisdiction will be the state or center, as the case may be, where you have been tagged, right? In Telangana, unfortunately, they are not used to audit. They were all from the AP GST regime, and in VAT, they are all used to scrutiny sort of a thing, where they call all the information to their office. You get the entire sales printout, you get everything to my office. Unfortunately, audit also they are doing it. The audit also is saying you upload everything, you get entire audit, I will sit in my office and do the audit. But generally audit happens in the assessee's premises. So I'm not very still sure about how Telangana government is going to take up. They have issued a number of notices for audit. Many of you would have come here. They have asked to upload the returns, but the actual audit is yet to be started. So they may be starting somewhere from October or something, because they have given a deadline to give all the notices up to 30th September, finish of the notices. From 1st of October, maybe they will be audit. At the central level, audit is a separate department. That has nothing to do with your range of business. It's an independent separate audit wing. There are two commissioners in Hyderabad. One is near here, Image Gardens, and another is in Ramandapur. They have been divided into two years. This thing happens. The third one is the investigation. Now, investigation can go to a transaction whether you have accounted in the books of accounts or not. First one was returns, second was from the books of accounts, third one whether you have accounted in the books of accounts or not. That is all your evasion cases. Right? So that will come under the powers of inspection and all those proceedings which is been there. This can be done by either the state government, even though you are assessed by center, you can be done an investigation by the state, vice versa. There is a special wing called DGGI, Director General of GST Intelligence. They can also do this investigation. Not only DGGI Hyderabad, and DGGI Delhi can come and do an investigation. DGGI Bangalore can come and do an investigation. Right? So anybody who has a reason to believe, has got a intelligence that you have evaded the payment of tax, that authority only will be doing the investigation. However, Delhi DGGI will come and do an investigation, record all my statements, prepare the show cause notice, and they will give it to my jurisdictional officer here, locally in Hyderabad, saying that you adjudicate this show cause notice. They cannot adjudicate the show cause notice, they can only conclude the investigation. Right? So one of my client is a trader. Yes, is into some chemical trading, and there is some fake invoicing which happens here and there. So he has been now summoned about 8 DGGS across the country. His entire supplies is only in Hyderabad. He sells only in Hyderabad, nowhere else. He buys from Mumbai. That's a one place he'll buy, and he sells everything here. But the Mumbai vendor is buying from say Bangalore. The Bangalore guy is coming and giving a notice. So this is something which is again, which is not very friendly for the department, but this is what is happening. Now coming a step before the audit also happens on a each state basis. You are telling you are registered under 5 states. So when they come for an audit, they need not do the audit of entire 5 states. They will do an audit of only one state where they have a jurisdiction. Now recently there has been a talk, and they are working on doing called as a national audit. One audit where multiple people they can opt for the national audit, and entire all your locations registrations will be done by one single team. I think that is a very big good thing which happens is because you have to keep on telling the same story for every people, and every person will give a interpretation in a different way. So that is something which the multi-locational things are asking. So that is what is good, right? Audit findings, your litigation, your investigation findings, both gets converted into a document called as a show cause notice, which is issued under the form BRC-01 under the GST. So show cause notice is not a demand by itself. Show cause notice is an opportunity which has been given where they say, hey, you are liable to pay tax as per me of X amount. You tell me why you are not liable. They are giving me an opportunity. So it is not creating any demand by itself. Why I am repeatedly telling this, and also the audit power will not create any demand. Why I am repeatedly telling this is because most of the cases we have seen that soon after the show cause notice is there, especially this happens with the state officers, they say that I am going to attach your bank account because I have given the show cause notice. You pay off the amount, otherwise I am going to attach the bank account. Show cause notice is not a demand. The recovery can be done after the show cause notice gets adjudicated, the order has been passed, and your appealable period is expired. You have not preferred an appeal on the order. That means order has reached the finality as per you. In such case, they can go for a recovery. Till then, the recovery legally is not legitimate. So, by chance, any attachment or anything which has been happening, attachment, anything which has been happening, you can always go for a legal backup or a safeguarding. You can go to a jurisdiction in the High Court, and there are n number of scenarios where all these attachments have been opened in one single day. Bank attachment got attached today. Tomorrow we have gone to the High Court. They have immediately removed the attachment. But having said this, the department is also acting very smart or crooked. They come and attach on a salary day, right? Or in that first week where critical payments are happening, and they will try to do that sort of a thing. They are also becoming very good. So you have to be very careful in dealing. Although you have a right and power, you cannot take an head-on with them. You have to have a mix of exercising your right and also keeping them where they have to be there. So this is show cause notice can be given under two sections. One is section 73, another is section 74. The difference between 73 and 74 is 73 is a simple case. Any non-payment of tax will come under 73. And an order under 73 can be passed within 3 years from the due date of filing the annual returns, not your monthly returns. Due date of filing the annual returns, right? You remember in 17, 18, 18, 19, every time they were giving a notification and deferring. Annual return is deferred. At that time, we were feeling that very good, it has been deferred. Now what is happening? Because that is deferred, for 17, 18 today, still the due date is open within the normal period. If we would have filed it within the due date, that means if the due date was original due date, by now 17, 18, no demand would have been given under 73. That is non-fraud. 74 is a case where there is a fraud, collusion, misrepresentation. and contravention of any provision with an intention to evade the payment of tax, GST. Right? Only in such cases they can invoke 75 and the demand can be proposed up to a period of 5 years from their annual report. Another important factor which comes 73, 74 is under 73, by chance you feel, okay, say for example, by mistake I have taken automobile or repair from automobile, I was not eligible, by mistake I have taken by oversight. It was identified in audit or somewhere, whatever it is, wherever it is. You want to pay it, you have an option to pay under section 73(5) that you can pay the amount without penalty. Amount plus interest before issuing show cause notice, no penalty can be initiated. If the para is proposed under section 74, then you have to pay 15% of penalty. So thereby it becomes very crucial not only from time period, from also an exit point if you don't want to litigate it further. This is one. Second, very important, many of the people are not looking at these consequences, is that if I'm making a payment under section 74, my recipient is not eligible for it. If I admit and make the payment under section 74, my recipient is not eligible for the credit. Say for example, sir was telling now that there is a confusion on electricity and water. So sir will call all his tenants. He says, sir, are you a SEZ? Are you a person where you are GST registered? 100% will either be an SEZ or GST. So Mr. Ganesh will say that why I should take an add-on. I will give a supplementary invoice today, charge GST, let them take GST. All that I am paying is interest. I have to pay interest of 18% on 18%. But here the entire 18% is a sword on me. He may decide to do that. But if he has to decide to do that, he has to make the payment under 73. If he makes the payment under 74, department will not give the credit to his recipient. Right? Sometimes it is good to do when the interest is less. For him it will be huge because from 17, 18 years to pay, 18% into 6 years is crossing your 100% of the demand itself. Right? But if it is only for 6 months, 8 months, 1 year, people may still want to explore the opportunity. If the other person is able to take the credit, will not dispute it, pay it and close it. So that is possibility is there. So then you have to be very clear, you will not come under sum. So sum and substance, first you have to tackle whether you are not liable to pay, well and good. If you are taking that stand, 1774 doesn't matter. If you are taking a stand that I want to pay, don't want to litigate, then you have to put all your efforts to make your assessment under 73. The moment you go under 74, 15% penalty comes, recipient will not be eligible to take the credit, your due date will get extended. So this is a very important piece which you have to understand, because sometimes the investigation officers and all, they will say that no, that's the difference, 73, 74, no difference, you make under 74 days. During this audit or anything, they do that. So you have to be firm and say that, see, I'm accepting to pay. Let me pay as I want, not what I do, right? Otherwise, you give a notice and I'm not going to pay. Let me contest for it. So once you are agreeing to pay, then it has to be paid as per what you want, right? So these are the things which has been there. Two things which notice can come is if I'm not filing your returns, then there is a provision in the law says they can do a presumptive assessment. They will say, okay, last let's see, for this 6 months you have not filed the returns. Last year, is 6 months was turnover was so and so. Maybe you would have done better. You would have done another 20-30% of extra. You would have done. This could be your assumed turnover, and they will give you a notice. Simple. If this notice is coming, you file your returns with actuals, then that notice is deemed to be is only to look at. People will regularly file the returns. That is what it is there. And there is also if you are unregistered also, they can make an assessment based on the particular provisions. So these are the various intervention where the department can come. Very important if you look at now, many cases people will be discussing about the exit, right? You know, amicably they'll settle the other way. They'll say, don't worry, this is the amount you have to pay. You take care of me, I'll give you an exit. Right? So as I have told, If an exit is under 61, nobody can rule out under 65, audit can happen. Or under 73 and show cause notice can be given. And not only here, DGGI, if you settle with Hyderabad, DGGI Bangalore can come. Anybody can. So the multiple people which is involved is more. So you have to be very, very cautious in making any sort of this sort of an option. If you are taking, you have to be very cautious. We have seen, as per the experience, we have a 3 decades of practice under central excise, which was a very notorious department. We have not paid even a single rupee bribe to department. We always look at doing the things at the right way first time. Otherwise, what is the best mitigating and best optimizing and getting out of it? That is what we do, right? So this has been the best method and the cheapest method, which has been there, right? So that's on the various thing. Now let's get into the audit. Audit can be conducted for a financial year or a part thereof. It could be for 50% of the financial year. So generally, when they come for the audit, they do an audit up to the recent last financial year. But actually, if you look at, even if they are doing an audit, unless I have an opportunity to file my annual returns, say for example, somebody has come for an audit up to 22-23, they want to do that audit. Any observation what they have done under 22-23 cannot come under 74, because law provided me an opportunity till December 2023 and annual returns to rectify all my errors. There was an opportunity which was there.
Yes.
You come before that, you audit, and you tell I'm a fraud. That will not happen. There are settled positions on that. So to avoid this, most of the cases they do an audit only to the extent annual returns has been filed and a due date for annual returns has expired. So for sir, when they came, they have completed only up to 22. They have not touched 22-23 because 22-23 still the annual returns has not been filed by them. Right. So that is the audit which they do. What is the periodicity of the audit? It is based on your turnover. Right. If you are having a less turnover, you will come once in 5 years. If you are having a high turnover, you will be audited every year. So isn't it weird? For me, it's weird actually. If somebody is paying more tax, who's paying high turnover is already contributing huge. Usko kyun tang kar rahe yaar every year chahiye? Right? The person who is paying lesser tax, there is something which you can find there. The person who is paying more, you are asking more. So unfortunately, that is the system which we are in. So I always tell this only that you all have a mechanism to extract more from a registered person. How many people are unregistered, not actually paying tax? What mechanism you have?
They're already taking the top 10 taxpayers. They're taking the list and
Keep
they're going.
on drilling them only.
Volume value.
Top 10 taxpayers is paying the crores rupees taxes. Still, he will get a call on 19th. Sir, your 19th they pay the returns. 20th kada sir due date unte. Sir, we top player kada. Yes, sir,
Comparative.
you have to pay it off early because you are paying more money. Right? So this is somehow we have to deal with it. I don't have a solution for it, but yeah, that is the fact which has been there. So it will be audited based on your turnover. Now, how it will be picked for the audit? It is a risk-based assessment. The audit is being made. So there are certain parameters. I hope this screen is visible, right? So it says that if you are not providing the details to the audit, you are inconsistent in filing of your returns, or there is always a discrepancy between your monthly returns and your annual returns, or your 1 versus 3B. So there are a lot of discrepancies which has been there, various parameters. The system generates the risk, and the risk-based audit they will be picked up. In some cases, the sector itself will be made as a risk-based sector. Say for example, steel and plywood is there, right? So this is something to be a sensitive, where they say that there is a lot of evasion and a lot of non-compliance which happens in this thing. There is a preconceived notions which has been there. So based on that sector also, the audit frequency will keep on being decided. Okay, so what should be the approach when you are coming, when the audit is being there? One very important is that cooperate with the audit. Provide all information which is written, which is logical, which they are asking, provide all the information, right? If they are asking for an agreement, give the agreement, right? If they are asking for the vouchers, give the vouchers. If they are asking a share purchase or a share transaction agreement, which your promoter has sold in the property in your company, your promoter has sold the share to somebody else at a premium, that has nothing to do with your audit of you making a sale of a automobile or you making a construction or a selling of residential units. That has nothing to do with my promoter share purchase or share transfer, right? So those sort of documents need not, right? In some cases, there will be confidential, right? Especially something to do with defense supplies. They say that there is a strict thing that you cannot share the VOQ or VOM. Many secretive things which is in there, which is confidential. So those things are not, you can take a what do you call shelter. Some cases they want an original for their record. You can always self-attest and give it, or attest it by your notary or an auditor and give it for their record if you want. You are not going to give a original. Original is with you. You can give a photocopy. If they say I want an original of it, then maximum what you do is attest and give it. And very important is that how are you organizing the data? It is always first impression is the best impression, right? The moment they come, you are handing over a file which is having all the information which is required. Your GST one printout is there, PV printout is there, computation is there, your sales register printout is there, ITC is there, supporting the documents of ITC is there, reconciliation between 1 and your 3B is there, reconciliation between books and 3B is there, all reconciliation, everything is put. Month-wise, you have a segregation. Year-wise, you give one or two box files based on what volume it is there. So this is this year data, this is this year data. You ask me whatever you want, everything is there in this file. This is the best way to deal with them. The moment they see the transparency, the moment they see your approach that you are giving entire data and everything is organized, they already make a view on you that you are highly compliant. Once they are making a view that you are highly compliant SSC, then even small things also will be taken on your face value. They will not go for very in-depth, okay, give me this document, give me this document. They go on your face value for all small things. Bigger thing again, they also have their own diligence. On the other hand, they say you give me 17-18 computation, you take 1.5 days to print it from various sources, this email. That time, who was the employee in the accounts he was working? Oh, okay, that was Ishwar, right? And Ishwar mail ID, you ask IT people to give backup, the computation is in his email ID, and you compare everything, take 1 or 2 days, and give 1 month data. Then they are saying, boss, you are cooking all those things and giving. Right? Now everything is a suspicion. Even valid thing is also suspicion. In original, you know, sign చేసుకుంటే తెచ్చారా ఒకసారి మీ వెండర్ తో మాట్లాడించండి I want to check whether it was signed on that day, right? So that is how it has happened. So have this proper systematic record and take it for granted, not only for GST audit, for your own reference. We all have huge employee turnover, right? At least I am having, I don't know others. Yeah, if not huge, at least sizable turnover is there. Our team keep on changing, and we in this, I don't think so we have a solution but to live with it, right? So that is what is happening. And every time people use different folders, different laptops, different places which has been there, compiling becomes a lot of. But if you are sitting, putting this process in place, that all these documents are there, then only that payment happens. Otherwise, payment is not going to happen. And everything gets compiled and hard copy is still there, and it is simple. So when I was telling this, somebody told, Sudhir, why are you doing? We are all go green. We are not doing all printing and all this. No problem. Whatever the folder system I told, put it in one folder, one shared folder. Protect it with password. Let it not be accessible to everybody in the organization. Protect it with the same folder structure. You give it to him. You give him a system and say, this is the folder structure. Everything is there. I'm okay with it. But it should be within one organized manner. Right? So that is something which is required. Seek adjournment if it is required. Really, if it is required. There are a lot of data which has been asked. If it is there, you can always seek an adjournment. But one thing what you could do is, while seeking an adjournment, is that you also give partial information and seek it. Right? Say for example, annual reports, audited annual financials, readily available. That will be one among the documents which he has asked. ST3 returns, GST 9 returns, whatever, GST 3B. These are the returns which is readily available with you. No need to do much. While seeking adjournment, you ask 12 items. I am readily able to give these 3 items. Please find 3 items. For balance 9 items, give me the time. I am going to give it. Right? That shows that your intention of cooperation and that you have started doing some cooperating and you are going to submit the data. Then the tone of the department, the way they approach you. The moment you are taking adjournment, 1 adjournment, 2 adjournment, 3 adjournment, they'll get irritated. This fellow don't want me to do the audit. Why you don't want to do the audit? Something is hiding me from me. So these are all the things which comes to that. Genuinely, there may be time required to compile. Yeah, sometimes they give a notice and say next week I'm coming, I want it by 2 days. Not the problem. Give partial information. Take the other. Another important thing is identify the members who are from the audit. What are their name? What is their designation? Identify. Keep it somewhere. Right? So this may be required over a period of litigation, that what you told to who was there, things like that. You want to enter into you want to give a affidavit or sworn affidavit, things like that. It will be helpful you do if you don't even know who are there in the team. So mark it and keep it somewhere. Next time somebody is coming, okay, this officer had come, this is what they want to cross check, all those things becomes easy. Then all information which you are giving, summarize it by an email by end of the day. Very important. There are 5 things in 5 different point in time in a day. Right? You keep on giving them. For everything, you cannot ask them to give a mail, you cannot send a mail. Do everything, no problem. Give it. At the end, before you are leaving the office, just make a polite mail. Sir, today the audit went on well, thank you. In the audit, we gave you the following 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Send a mail to the official mail ID, which is there in the audit intimation, which comes in the starting. Send it to them, leave it at that. That's all. You are putting on record. Why I am telling this is because when they come for an audit, a particular transaction, they are also convinced it is either exempted or say 5%. Okay? But after the DGGA will come and say it is 18%. They have to come within the normal period of limitation, that is 3 years. If they are coming beyond, it is not valid, or they cannot propose 100% penalty. Sometimes department will say, I have done the audit, but where is the proof that you gave me this agreement to me on that day for me to prove that this was there? That was not provided to me during the audit. So thereby you cannot say that I was aware of this fact. Thereby, if you are sending every day an email that these are the things which I am providing to you, that is on record. Under section 165 of the GST, email correspondence is a valid correspondence. So not there in service section. Here it is. They can give me an email, I can give you. It's a valid. Otherwise, earlier was all TAPA system. He will never give you a TAPA. He will never give you a TAPA. Here it is an email you send it. And we have certain softwares also which will track whether it has been received or not received. The tracking also is possible. If possible, have the tracker. Even otherwise, if you have sent an email, they will check their government server whether it is delivered or not delivered.
But in case if the mail got spam, then
that is not my problem.
that's the.
I am intimated because department is also saying what you are saying is the same thing we are also saying. They are sending a notice to me that is going to my spam. Then time part, they are coming for recovery. Then when did you send the notice? I am asking. Then they are telling this. When we are going to the court, they are also telling that is not my problem. That is his system problem. I have served. So I will also use the same thing. Right. But what is important is bringing that on record. That I have given this. That is very, very important. Here. Not only forget about future audit. After the audit is happening, there is something called as a monthly monetary committee meeting. MMC meeting which happens, which will be chaired by the commissioner. audit commissioner and all the additional commissioners, everybody will be there. In that itself, superintendent will be misrepresented. When we are going and telling, no, no, sir, this is what we have given and he will look at him, have you not seen it? Say, no, sir, this they never gave it to me. There only, we have seen n number of cases, they are only misrepresenting. But if everything is one, email is coming, now, at the back end he knows, Arey boss, these fellows are doing everything, I cannot play with them. Right? This is not a complaint, this is not a check on it. It's a little kind of polite, very polite. But this is your right to do. Additional time can always be sought, which I think I have already told for adjournment and things. It is also permitted that a professional also can be involved. Unless in investigation, professionals are not. They only an advocate, not only a chartered accountant. Advocate who can be at a seeing distance, not hearing distance. When a statement is recorded, can only see so that no manhandling or anything is happening. Only to that extent he can see. He cannot be in the hearing distance also. He should not be able to listen. That is very clearly there in the summons record. But as far as audit, no restriction. You give an authorization to a chartered accountant or your other consultant, tax consultant, he can handle the audit for you. So this is also very important, like sir was telling, there are 5 locations. One person cannot run parallel to all 5 locations. So here, an external support, professional support is there. That is something which you can always take. Another important thing which you can also look at is a pre-audit which is being done. This is a mock audit, right? So what we do is we generally get into the foot of the officer. What all officer will ask, what all document he will ask, what are the checklists, what are the reconciliations, all those things is what we will check. It's a mock audit. So that gives you a preparedness when the audit is coming. Am I having all the records with me? What are my gray areas? What are my white areas? What are my black areas? If I have to rectify something, pay it off, because if I am identifying no 74. Right? If department is saying, then they will say 74, you have to fight it for 73 and things like that. Interest anyway is there, no penalty for sure. Right? So this is also something which is recommended based on your size of the organization and the risk which is beneath. Another important thing is the payment can be made under protest. Right? Sometimes you may end up making the payment, although you feel that it is not viable. Maybe because the amount is small, or maybe something else you don't want to get into. I'm going for a fundraising from a VC, and if this para is pending, there will be having an impact on my valuation. So I don't want to do it. Let me pay, although I feel it is not viable. There are a number of reasons you end up paying. While paying, you can always pay under protest. One common thing department will ask is, they'll give you a GST book. They'll say, sir, GST book is this. You tell me where it is told where GST can be paid under protest. Remember, for you have a fundamental constitutional right to protest anything in this world. It is protected by the Constitution. It is the principle of natural justice that need not be given in any GST Act. You can always protest and make a payment under protest without accepting it. Once you are paying under protest, it is not your self-assessment. The moment it is not your self-assessment, it doesn't become a tax, and thereby your limitation of 2 years will not apply. Right? So always identify that what are all the items which is under dispute. Somebody else's dispute. Say for example, sir told an example of this electricity and water. Right? For K-Raja IT Park, it is huge amount. Yeah, maybe that the option which I gave also is not workable for them, because few crores of interest will come. They may want to contest, but I am having one small standalone building. My liability is only 10 lakh rupees. I have strength to absorb it. If I go to an advocate, he will take fees of 5 lakh rupees. I will say, pay 10 lakh rupees, whatever. Because you know it's an industry issue, because you know somebody is fighting, all that you do is pay under protest. Keep quiet. Hey. After 4 years, 5 years, 7 years, 8 years, 10 years, they will win the case in Supreme Court. Then you make a refund. If it is not there, they're lost. You have anyway paid, for you it's due time. All those things is one making letter that I am paying under protection. Right? So this is something which you can always look into it. To keep the case live, you can do this. Certified copy I have talked about. Oral directions and payments. Sometimes they will not give you in audit para or anything. They will not give you. They will ask you to make an oral payment. Oral payment is not there. Cannot be there. Even if something you are making orally, you make a payment and you tell. As per your advice, I have made the payment. You don't make a payment orally. Right? So because if you are making a payment orally, it will become your orally if it has been paid and you are making a payment on yourself, it becomes self-assessment tax. Once it is self-assessment tax, you cannot go based on your own assessment. You cannot go against your own. But if department has told, I have paid, I can always challenge this. I was not liable for paying. So that is something which we look at. Unofficial demands. There is this very famous decision of Swiggy. Right? So during the investigation, Swiggy was asked to pay an FT amount. They went to Karnataka High Court. They got their entire money which they paid during the investigation. So no money is required to be paid pending investigation, pending audit, pending show cause notice adjudication. Nothing is required. Right? It's been clearly held that it is unlawful to collect such particular money. So even you end up paying, if it is a amount is more, you can always go to High Court. So what type of reply you will be giving audit will also be helping for your future.
There are snacks, you can consume the snacks in fact.
Yeah, I heard so.
There's a washroom also there. If anyone want to use the washroom, they can.
Please, no, please,
Please
you need to have your
snacks.
snacks. Hope I'm going in a good speed. You want anywhere you feel that you want to ask any query, you can always ask. Okay? We'll make it as interactive as possible. Right? Next is correspondence to department. Email 169 is there, you can send it, but don't send it to Gmail IDs of the officers. That is not official. Right? As I told, they'll give the audit intimation. ADT 01 or something is a form, they'll give you an intimation. In that, their email ID will be mentioned. That is an official email. Right? Only for that email ID you send it. And also your jurisdictional thing will come in your portal. Okay. Use all this email ID, it's valid, it's yeah. At the same time, as sir has told, when they are sending a mail, our server may recognize that as a spam. Because as I told, they generated a bot, IITN software and all. So that gave that 40,000 notice on a day. So my server may treat this as a spam. So it will go and sit there. So there also you have to look at those IDs, those official IDs which is there, give it to your IT team and ask them to mark it as safe. Then only you get that particular mail. Second, when that mail comes to me, also have a rule of redirecting to whomever people it has to go. So sometimes what we have seen is it is coming to an accountant email ID, that accountant is no more with us, right? And we miss the notice. So it is always recommended that this notice which comes to you, this notice also, you make an automatic rule that it goes to 4 or 5 people whom it has to be notified, so that you are not missing the notice. Another important is that the notice can be uploaded in the portal, online portal. So you also have to have a mechanism that somebody keeps on logging to an online portal once in 15 days or once in a month and gives a confirmation that if it is not there, he has to tell it is not there. Silence is not an answer. He has to be told it is not there. Put that system in place so that we are not missing out on the notices and the time bar. Telephone, not at all preferred communication. And most of the cases we have seen either audit or investigation, lot of information has been asked. Acha, you tell me how are you doing this accounting entry for this electricity? You are telling reimbursement. Na? You tell me how are you doing the accounting entry. Right? They take whatever information they want and they pick and choose and make their focus notice. And this is what was told. What I was told, they will not take, they'll only take one word or one para out of it. Right? So it is always important that telephonic conversation is not done. But can I say, sir, I attended Sudhi's session, he told telephonic conversation should not be done. I'll not talk to you and I'll keep the phone. Can I do that? No. No, I have to have a good relationship. He is after all an officer. Although I pay his salary, I have to respect him. That is India. I'll do that. Right? So I will tell, okay, sir, this is what, this is what, this is what. Send an email, continuation to it. Sir, as per our telephonic conversation, I am sending an email so that it is something you don't miss out. And this is available as a reference for the future also for both you and me. I will not forget, you will not forget. Thereby, I am sending an email. Whatever you do, put it in a para and send it in.
And they will confirm, I'm not sending any mail, send it.
Yes. So that you are sending, you say that you have asked and I am sending the data. If they are not doing, we will do it, let our communication be clear. Right? So it may be feeling, Sudhir, what you are saying here, you will call 10 times, where I will send all these things, right? But let me tell you, these are all the things which is going to save you. And it will not get into frivolous demands and frivolous notices and they will not corner. These are the best practices. Letters to department. From the department, whatever the letter comes, envelope is very important. Preserve the envelope, okay? Because date of delivery is important. Unlike in the central excise or the customs, where the delivery was not there, tendering was there in customs. I think in central excise and service tax, they fixed date. In GST also, that it has to be delivered to me. That is the date it will be. So envelope will be very important. All the letters to department send it by registered post acknowledgement. You track the acknowledgement. Right? DIN to be quoted. Any document which is there without a DIN, okay, document identification number, it is invalid. Right? So sometimes you get these phishing officers. Okay? Actually, there is no investigation. Actually, there is no audit, no scrutiny, nothing. Out of the blue, he will call you and he will say there is a problem. You have to pay tax or something. You will also act smart, you will say send it in writing. Okay, I will send it in writing. He is a superintendent only, but not officially assigned to you. He is a superintendent. He will write it to you, but he will not. Then it is not a value. He is only on a phishing agent. If he gives it with DIN, then it becomes a valid transaction. So sometimes there will be a drama. So DIN, if I am giving it becomes official, you think about it, it will be a problem for you only, I will not be able to help you. Right? Let me tell you, none of the department officers will not leave you for what actually you are doing. They'll leave you for interpretational issue, they'll leave you for what you are not supposed to. What you are supposed to pay, if not this officer, somebody else will commit it. So you need not worry, you tell no problem, sir. My company policy, I cannot reply anything if there is no. Right? Even the Telangana government also has recently started with DIN. I was even told. AP is following it from the beginning. So many other states are also applying. Visits by the department and visit to the department. Whenever they come, department people come. Get their entry in the visitor register. Right? If I am a consultant, I come to your office. Your security, it doesn't care whom I am. Right? What he will say? Please enter here. This is a policy. Right? Even if it is a department officer, you ensure that the entry is getting it done. Sometimes, especially when the DGGA guys or the investigation comes, they will be rough. They may not do an entry. In which case, you can again send a mail saying that you had come and this is what we are requiring. Otherwise, mostly they are do the entry. If you ask them politely, they'll do the entry. Only a few cases they don't want to do it. So this will all help us in the future litigation so that you can record it and we are visiting also do it. Then conclusion of the audit, once the audit is concluded, then there will be a spot audit memo which will be issued. Give the reply for spot audit memo along with the supporting evidence reconciliation. Don't just give a statement that I am not liable for tax. Every para wise you give it detailed. So some cases they say that, some cases or some advisors or some consultant will say, why are you giving everything here? We will give it in the appeal stage. My question is, why should you go to appeal? If something can be dropped here, why should I go to appeal?
It is for people.
Right, fact is a fact, na? You give a fact, you are not manufacturing a fact. You give the fact at the stage one itself, so that you are in a better position. When I go to appeal, sir, I told before the audit. Before the audit para I told. After audit para I have told. I have told in the adjudication. Till they have not considered, then I am in a very upper state. Otherwise, we are asked, did you tell to the department? That is what they are going to ask. So keep the entire thing along with the notice. And as I told, there is something called as a monthly monetary committee meeting which happens. Telangana, they are open. Then even allow the assessees also, that the auditees also. You can go and put forth your claim. So although the strike rate is less, but still I have seen at least 4 or 5 cases out of 10 cases. They are considering, at least if not all the para, 1 or 2 para, which is very genuine, it has got dropped. One of the biggest para which has got dropped in Hyderabad was that holding company is holding a shares in subsidiary. So they wanted to tax this transaction as facilitation service or holding service. Something they bought some HSN classification and they wanted to tax this. So in Hyderabad, they took a wonderful decision saying that this is nonsense. We will not do. So our office, we were involved representing. So the meeting went for 1.5 hours, as good as a court proceeding. They heard everything, all case studies, everything we gave. And finally decided not to give it back. Bangalore went ahead, gave a para. It went into the show cause notice. Circular was issued last 50th council meeting. They gave a circular saying that this is nonsense. Don't give any notices. All notices immediately withdraw. That is not a service at all which has been provided. So sometimes we say the department may kuch nahi hota. They are one-sided, they will not listen. But at the highest level, if you are making a proper representation, there is also a chance. Okay, if it is not there, what are you going to lose? एक आधा घंटे जाओ explain करके आओ नहीं हुआ तो नहीं हुआ, but why are you telling नहीं होता? You put your efforts, then leave the results. So that is something which you could look at in the monthly monitoring committee. Okay? Before show cause notice, they will give something called as GST 01. I told you that 73.5 and 74.5, you can settle it without dispute, paying the entire amount along with interest under 73, along with 15% under 74, if it is been there. They give you an opportunity. If you want, you can take that. Otherwise, a notice will be given. You have to file the notices. Right? So, any questions so far? I've just given you the best practices and do's and don'ts doing the audit and in general also as per the notices. Any questions so far? Right? I'll proceed. So, these are some common issues. We'll see how to mitigate, or what is that, how we have to handle it. One is the reconciliation issue, which is a typical issue. I've not seen a notice which doesn't have a reconciliation, audit notice which doesn't have a reconciliation. This is a common thing which has been happening. One is with your financials and your returns which has been there. So there is a case of Go Bindas Entertainment Private Limited tribunal decision. It says no demand can be confirmed by comparing GST 83 returns figure with the balance sheet in the absence of any evidence which is given. That means that cannot be the only basis for it. They have to do something else. They have to bring out some evidence. They cannot just give you a notice saying that, see in your financials, this is what it is there. In your 3B, you have assessed so and so, difference you pay tax. That cannot happen. In the financials also, they have to bring out evidence that this is what has something which is actually a supply of service or supply of goods is a classification. They have to prove everything, then only have to. So this is a case law which you can use. For all the reconciliation where they are not giving any further evidence, you can use this for getting it dropped. 2A versus 3B, very favorite for department. So I'm assuming everybody knows what is 2A versus 3B, right? So 2A is the auto-populated returns of all my vendors filing their GSTR1, and 3B is what the credit which I take up to 2022 financial year. I think January 2021 up to January 2021. There was no condition prescribed under the law that an entry should be there in year 2A or 2B. No condition was there. The condition came prospectively from 21, 16(2) AA was inserted. Only thereafter there has to be an entry. For 17, 18, 18, 19, 19, 20, 20, 21, partially, no requirement of 2A versus 3B. If you have a valid invoice, if you have received the goods, all other conditions are satisfied, you can go ahead and take the credit. That is what this Arise India and all those things.
Still they are issuing notices to that extent.
They are still issuing your notices, but this is what is ultimately going to be settled.
We are writing the same, but still.
Yeah, you may have to go to first appeal, second appeal. Finally, this is what was going to be settled because it was not there. The condition. It is up to you, based on the amount, based on your appetite to litigate or not, whether you want to do it or not. Having said this, via media, they have given something called 183 circular. In 183 circular, they say, okay, this is not appearing into a, no worry. Go to your vendor. Go to your vendor. If it is less than 5 lakhs, take a declaration from him, he has paid. If it is more than 5 lakhs, take auditor's declaration. Your vendor's auditor declaration, I will allow you. So why use a bigger tool when you have a small solution? Even you think that you are eligible for credit, if you can do 183 circular compliance, do it. So that is also not that easy. Actually, a lot of my clients
No, the
struggling.
vendors are not there.
Yeah. When I tell this to my clients, then my clients will yell at me, not the finance department, the vendor handling, the purchase department. They yell at me. It is not possible for us. That fellow is gone. It's absconding. We cannot find him. So where is the question of getting the declaration?
If it is there also, they are not responding, sir.
They are fearing.
Yeah, actually they are telling you.
They are confident. Their auditor is fearing. lot of permutation combinations.
The department is asking us to pay the amount.
They will ask us to pay. We have to contest. Right? But what I am saying, even if you are not able to fulfill 183 circular, which has been given for subsequent financial year, still up to 21 January, you have a valid case saying that that was not a condition at all. Even after 36 crores, it is not a condition at all, because 16 is a condition. 16 did not tell that there should be such condition for us to take the credit. Right? Then 16.4 defaults are there. So what is 16.4? 16.4 is, it says that you have to pay the vendor within 180 days. So you have not paid within the 180 days. Multiple arguments. One argument is says that if my credit period was beyond 180 days, agreed credit period itself was there, there is no failure to pay. Failure to pay when comes is when I am not honoring it. So that is one argument which is been there. We have to see how that will actually go. Second is for your bill of entry, credit taken or bill of entry, that is on your imports. 180 days will not apply. In audit para, they are giving audit para for even your imports also. All the vendors they are taking, including imports also. Another important thing is RCM payment, reverse charge mechanism. Again, reverse charge mechanism, like your advocate fees which you have paid, advocate is not registered, you will issue a self-invoice and take the credit. So your invoice you are issuing within that period, you will be eligible to take it. So most of the cases, they are identifying non-payment of RCM in the audit. So if that is an unregistered person, we are advising them to take the credit, pay under 73 RCM payment, take it as an input tax credit in that financial. So that is also something which is something you could expect, right? So those are the items, and these are few controversial ITC items which has been there, input tax credit. So they feel that the CSR expenses is not available as a credit. So there was an amendment in the law restricting CSR expenditure, right? So what does that mean? That means yesterday it was available. Today, if I am restricting, yesterday I did not restrict it. So thereby, till the amendment, I am eligible for a CSS because that is required mandatorily as per the business. It is not given away free of cost. So that is eligible. You can contest and you can take the credit. Cleaning, housekeeping, guest house maintenance, everything is it. You have to understand the input tax credit. I'll just take another 2 minutes. Is that okay if we work on the side and something like that? So one very important for you to understand the input tax credit. You know this Hindustan Coca-Cola company? What they manufacture?
Coke.
Coke, soft beverages, right? So that is what they make us understand they manufacture. But what they manufacture is only concentrate, which is a raw material for soft beverages. So they sell this concentrate to their franchisees, which is a bottling company. They manufacture the soft drink what we consume, right? So this is their business model. Audit party went to their audit this. They found out a bill of Katrina Kaif. They told, I'll not give the credit. The company told, why Katrina Kaif bill I should not take that? No, this is not because of that. Right? Now you tell me in ad what Katrina Kaif is showing or any of the celebrities. What is he or she showing? Soft beverages, right? Right? That is what you have paid for. You have paid service tax. Now, what is your company product? What it has been shown is not at all your product. That is your customer's product. How you want me to give credit on this? Isn't it valid? Highly logical, valid. It went up to the High Court. In Bombay High Court, Coca-Cola, Hindustan Coca-Cola argued saying that, please, this is the definition of input service. It says activity related to business, such as accounting, auditing, so and so, has been written. Activity relating to business. Now, I don't have any product for my concentrate. As a business model, I don't have. If I promote the product of my customer, he will get the business, he will in turn give the business to me. Thereby, this is an activity in relation to business. I should be eligible for input tax credit. Bombay High Court told, right decision, take it. What happened? Next amendment, they deleted the word activity related to business such as with immediate effect. Right? So why I told this particular case law is that if you look at today's definition of GST, input service, it says any activity relating to business will be eligible. Unless specifically restricted under section 17(5), even though it is an activity relating to business. I am a chartered accountant, I have used my card to come here, which is a professional assignment, but still I will not get the card credit because it is 17(5). But other than that, it is very, very wide if you can link it remotely also to two activities of your business. In the course of business or in the furtherance of business. Right? So somebody traveled to Mumbai, participated in an exhibition, incurred huge expenditure, no business was being done, came back. Can I get the credit of it? Yes, because it was for a furtherance of my business. If that would have materialized, I would have made some further business paid GST. So thereby, under the the GST, your ITC can be taken on every activity, guest house expense, your goods, services used in the guest house, everything can be taken because erstwhile in central excise, you have to link it to manufacture. They are saying, in this product, you tell me where guest house will come. It will not come. I will not give you. Here it is a business related expenditure. You can take all entertainment expenditure, everything can be taken. But department is of the view that I will not give you for guest house, TV installed in guest house, furnitures I will not give, AC I will not give. So these are all the common things which keep on coming as far as the audit paras is concerned. So you can use this Hindustan Coca-Cola edition which I have told, which is wide enough and you will be able to take the credit of this. Including director's expenses also, director travels, official travels will be there. Right? There are certain proprietary sort of a companies, their personal tour also, they will book it as a business tour. That I am not saying that you are eligible. You have to prove if you have gone to Goa, you have to prove what you did in Goa relating to your business. Nah? You cannot say that I spent holiday and come. Right? So that is another thing that somebody told now that is also required for business. I have to take a break, then I can concentrate. That is also required for the business. It goes arguing. So there was one chartered accountant who claimed depreciation on, they claimed his bypass surgery as repairs and maintenance as an expenditure. You know, I am a chartered accountant, so art is one of my plant and machinery. So it was cut down by the tribunal, but interpretation can go, right? Then this is another big headache which has been there is secondment of the employees. So foreign company, there is a holding company. So one of the person has been deputed here and you pay the salary to the holding company because the person who has come on a deputation, he says, I want salary in my local country. You pay me in the local country. So you give it to holding company will pay, but he is full-time working for me here in the subsidiary. So unfortunately, the Supreme Court told that it amounts to a supply of manpower. So this is also one of the very common issues which keep coming. So you cannot actually mitigate this para because Supreme Court, whether right or wrong, Supreme Court is final. They have told very clearly you should follow our decision, not because we are right, because there is nobody above us to review our order, we have to follow. So thereby this is one of the way. But what you could do is that if you are eligible for input tax credit, then you can always take the credit instead of litigating. Even if you are not eligible for input tax credit, you can see whether you have any other way of sending the salary of your employee outside. Give a direct salary here only, and how you can send it there outside is some mechanism you can work it out so that it becomes a clear local employment, not on a deputation. Another thing which comes is the reimbursement of expenditure of the holding company. So holding company incur certain expenditures. Say they send one consignment to a particular customer. They'll ask you to incur C&F expenses and all, and they told you claim it as an expenditure with reimbursement of an expenditure. Actually, you have not provided any service here, so only a reimbursement. So is it a facilitation or you are in a intermediate stage? So this also requires a proper documentation. You can say that the base service to do, actually I'm not charging the consideration. Best way to do is you charge a consideration. Okay, for doing this activity, 10,000 is my consideration plus reimbursement of expenditure. All the invoice you get it in the name of the holding company only, and 10,000 plus this is my actual invoice I am claiming as a reimbursement. Then you will be okay. So this is again after the para, not much, but before the para, these are the things which you could look at in terms of same as reimbursement of employee training, travel. It's all same that you about transaction. Professional payment to advocates and non-advocates. So another thing which is very important in the audit, also to some extent in investigation, but majorly in audit is how are you maintaining your nomenclature in your books of accounts, right? So one of the case which I looked at is they have a legal expenditure as a nomenclature of a ledger account. They are debiting stamp paper when they are purchasing, they are debiting that account. Lawyer fees is debited to that account. Any taxes which is being paid, they are debiting to that account. Here, all the expenditure is debiting to that account. What audit party did, because they were running out of time, they had a pressure to close. They took the ledger trial balance, they marked legal expenses on that RCM was being proposed, right? So it's simple, but it took me 2 stages of appeal to get this dropped. Because everybody says, if it was so obvious, why audit party would have done this? Something would have been there, na? Okay, this ledger account and all you are giving it is sufficient, but what is the proof that you have not changed the ledger account now, not changed the narration? Okay, you give me supporting documents for all those things. Then again I have to go to the next stage. Then he says, no, you get a statutory audit certificate. So it takes hell a lot. So what you have to do is all reverse charge items, sponsorship, government fees, rent a cab already, house, what is the securities, right? All this about 7 or 8 items which has been there. I have a separate ledger account and debit only those expenditure where RCM will apply. Don't debit anything else, right? It is very simple. That amount you calculate with your summary of your 3D legal fees, summary of your 3D where this HSN code you have paid, these two will be matching. Audit party is happy, right? If this is not matching, then the audit party will say, okay, why you have paid this, why not less? Then you give me a proof of this, give me a proof of this, and that gets elaborated, or it will get into unnecessary decontamination, which you can avoid it by doing. So nomenclature of your ledger is very, very important. Very important is also your goods transport agency. So there is another case where we came across was, I was buying the goods from a vendor, he was charging 100 rupees for the goods, 10 rupees for the freight. 110 rupees, the GST on that 110 was charged. So these people somehow accounted 100 in purchases, 10 rupees as freight inward. So then what they told, freight inward you are not paid RCM expenditure. But it's actually purchase only. Like Sir was telling, is incidental to purchase. It's all cost of your purchase, cost of goods, which has been there. So you have to put entire 110 to purchases, no dispute with it. After that also we had to show, okay, that has been already paid, I need not pay. Then they told, okay, he has charged on output, but as he paid on his input when he has given, you give me the proof. Now, where that person is Reliance Industry, where I'll ask Reliance Industry to give the proof that you have paid on RCM on the freight. So it's not possible practically. So this accounting itself, you will be able to, proper accounting will give 50% of lesser complications during the audit and litigation. Right? That is GTA, GTO, directors. So remuneration paid to directors is again a favorite subject. Whatever remuneration you pay, they'll say you have to pay under your share mechanism. There is also a circular, everything is come now. Things are pretty settled, but documentation wise has to be very clear. Your ROC record, your income tax record, and your GST compliance, all three should be in place. Right? There are two types of director. One is the executive director, another is a non-executive or an independent director. The executive director is an employee director. He comes on time, he goes on time, he is as good as an employment. For all the labor law compliance, he is an employee. His income tax should be deducted under 192 under the Income Tax Act. Your ROC should clearly say he is an executive director. Your whatever the appointment and also the annual return should tell this. If all these three are in place, you can always easily get over. If ROC is telling something, income tax is telling something, your terms of employment, some terms of appointment of director is telling something, then you will be having a chance. So you can put all those things together. This para can be easily redeemed. Export related, import export, not getting much to it. Another thing is that you may be knowing that 9610, you people who are into imports, I'm not very sure. I was importing the goods under advance authorization, which allows me to import without payment of duties. If I want to export it with payment of duty for refund, I was not eligible to do it. So there was a provision which told, okay, don't worry, whatever duty you took it as an exemption, if you pay that, I'll allow you to export. Question came is, now I cannot pay through bill of entry because the assessment, reassessment period is done. I pay through a DR challan. Whether it's eligible for me to take the credit? Answer is yes, I'll be eligible to take it. Maybe in construction also, sir, this will come in terms of your denotification from SEZ. So one of the major clients we are working, that denotifying from a SEZ to a DTA. So now all the duty which they have forgone, the GST, they would have procured the goods without payment of GST. Now they are paying some hundreds of crores. They are paying under TR6. That is a valid document for them. Department is of the view, no, you will not be able to get it. In Rule 36, they talk about bill of entry or any such document as suggested by the Customs Act. You will be eligible to take them. The next is the corporate guarantee. So what is this corporate guarantee? There is a holding subsidiary company. The subsidiary company is a SPV, which has been just now floated for a specific purpose. They are going for a bank financing because they don't have a sufficient asset backing. Holding company will give the guarantee for the loan which the subsidiary want to give. So they are saying this is a bank guarantee service given by holding company to subsidiary. Even though they are not charging because they are a related party, you have to pay GST. Right? So there was one income tax decision here which says it's a shareholder's function. It's a function of a holding company to do. It's not a service. It is one of the responsibility to do. Thereby, they should not be subjected to tax. But this is also again a gray area which has been disputed. Interest. I have taken irregular income tax credit. If I have not used it, I can prove that this much balance was available from the date of availment till the date of utilization. No interest will be paid. Yeah, so that is there. And yeah, if you have reversed the ineligible credit without utilizing, again no income tax credit can be taken. Notice they recover. So there is an employee who was there who was having a 3 months of notice period. So if he is leaving, he has to give 1 month salary or 3 months salary and he has to leave. He told, no problem, sir, I leave because I got a better opportunity. So this is my other income in my books of accounts, notice pay recovery. This is more of a transaction of penalty. It is more of a penalizing him rather than providing him a service of going and joining it. So there is a decision which has been there at the Madras High Court, where they told notice pay recovery is not subjected to service tax, equally applies for GST. But this is again a favorite para which department is keep on giving everywhere. There the notice pay recovery is been there. So this para will help, this decision will help us to close, and this deck will be circulated by her to all. So nothing to worry in terms of taking the citation and all. Otherwise also I'm available to share. So this is again a recovery which has been happening from the vendor, right? So typical thing what is happening is transport vendor, most of the case which happens, 10 tons of goods were shipped. Actually, I got only 9 tons, right? So 10 to the extent of 1 ton, whatever the value is there, I recover from transport. Now the question comes up is whether it is a supply of 1 ton to transport, whether you have to pay GST. So audit party says yes, you have to pay because you have recovered the consideration of 1 ton from the transporter. That means it's deemed to be sold to it. Although you have not issued an invoice, you deemed to have been sold to. But if you are recovering this as a penalty, as a deficiency of provision of its service, causing a loss to me, and I am recovering my loss, which may be equal to the value of the goods, that will not be subjected to GST.
Liquidated damages.
It's a liquidated damages. There is a circular on that. But all that is that how we are doing the recovery, what is the correspondence with the this sort of a transporter has to be looked at. This can be for transporter, contractor, and sir, in your case, you do some recovery of excess usage of cement or something which the contractors, it is all penalty in nature. You have to put all those things. This is the standard input output ratio. If you are using an excess fuel or excess cement or something, I am going to charge you for that because it's my inventory you are using negligently, right? So all those things will come here where audit is of the view that it's all liable. So all these things come as a liquidated damages or as a penalty will not be subjected to tax. So these are the case laws which will help us on that particular. So common do's and don'ts as far as the notice is concerned, but just put down the reasons for non-compliance in writing, that whether it is admitted or otherwise, put it in writing why you did not, what made you to think that the tax was not being payable at the end of the day. Then reply without fail. Sometimes we give a skip. He has asked a very tough question in the audit para. We don't know what to give. So people will say that the silence is the best tool, be silent. But it is not the best tool, that is the worst tool that will go against you. Right? Whether right or wrong, you reply. And while replying, ensure you don't tell anything. You tell the fact only. If the fact will save you, it will save you. It will not save you, it will not save you. But lie will never save you. Because department can do a lie. Right? But truth remains a truth. Department cannot do anything about the truth. So that is very important. Take time if required, give it in writing. And they're also saying 5 paras are there, 1 para you know the answer. Give the answer to 1 para, take time for 4 paras. Same strategy. All the 5 you want take, you take time, but you go back within that period. Take professional help wherever is being required. And interpretation of law. Take a legal advice also. Sometimes we also have seen that we take a legal opinion by a well-known chartered accountant or an advocate. We also give opinions. So based on the opinions, based on the reasoning, sometimes very remote, rare chances, the audit para has been dropped because they get convinced the way why the person is coming to a conclusion and the stature of the person who has come to the conclusion. That is also sometimes it is possible for their own requirement. Bring out the business practice. So something which may be doing like this issue what may be told. This entire electricity area, CAM charges, nobody is paying GST on the electricity. That has been a business practice. I am not an evader. Right? So that will give me a 73, 74 penalties, all those things is going to be there. You can also make a representation, we are losing, give a retrospective exemption for this because this was a common business practice across India. That is also something we should look at. Provide reply within reasonable time. Right? That doesn't mean that they'll give you at 5 o'clock. They'll say tomorrow morning 10 o'clock is the monthly committee meeting. You come with the reply or not. So that cannot happen. Right? Even if it is there, go to a monthly monetary committee meeting and ask time to be put it into the next meeting. Because it will not be not much of time, but that will always be that. So point-wise reply, every para you reply. Second is refer to all the case laws, advanced ruling, circulars, which is in your favor. Give it at the time of audit declare. Don't wait till adjudication, don't wait till appeal. There is a high chance that it will get dropped, especially when you have a circular. Like I told now, directors, you have a circular, liquidated damages, you have a circular. Many issues you have a circular, you give the circular, you go how you are part of the circular, high chance that it will get dropped without getting the audit. Record the evidence I already told, submit required reconciliation. If required, take a certification of your statutory audit. If it is something to do with your books of accounts, that gives more authentication. Take acknowledgement, very important. Whatever you are giving, take an acknowledgement or send it by email so that even where you want to make a payment, you accept. Okay, this was by mistake, we have taken the credit. Fight for 73 vis-a-vis 74, which I have already told in the beginning. Right? So, few best practice for avoiding the notice is filing returns on time, as I told. So that unnecessarily some notices can be avoided. Keep computation and record self-explanatory when asked by a letter, replying promptly and giving all those things in a timely manner will avoid getting a show cause notice. Confirm the tax position by taking an independent consultant. So sometimes it's an industry practice, nobody is paying, we'll also not pay, but we actually will not take a advice. So take one or two independent advice whenever there is a huge stake is involved. I have my lot of my retainer clients. I myself will take, I have given this opinion, but still you go and take one more independent opinion. Go to a person in Chennai, Mumbai, Delhi, Bangalore, somewhere, you take an independent opinion because stakes are. For him, it is what like, how much an opinion will cost? 70,000, 1 lakh, maximum 1.5 lakh. But if the amounts are in crores, it's worth to take two opinions and be clear as to what position you are taking. Confirm your position. Not confirm, actually intimate your tax position to department. It's not confirm, department will not confirm. You independent to intimate to the department what stand you have been taken. Very, very powerful tool. Because most of the cases, the notices or the orders will be adjudicated beyond the 73 limit. It will be under 74 alleging a fraud. But if you are already told on the day one, this is my intention, they cannot allege 74. Only on that you can drop. Another very important tool is that if you are not giving a letter, this problem is going to come after 3 years. Interest is 60%. If you are giving a letter, the problem will come today only. And you will solve when the contract with your customer is still ongoing. You can go and recover from it. Or you are doing a residential project, you have still unsold inventory. This cost you can factor it there. You can adjust on some specification. Somewhere you can earn that money so that you are not out of pocket. After 3 years, customer has gone, project is completed, everything is done. Department is coming and asking. If it is genuinely payable, where the money will come? Might as well tell to them today only, invoke them today only, resolve them today only, plus or minus take a business decision. That is the best thing for you to do. In case of doubt, you can explore the advanced. Although we as a consultant, we call this is authority of advanced ruling, we call it as authority of adverse. Right? Everything comes against, but still, some cases it may be beneficial for it. Do not ignore any correspondence from the department, especially mails or letters. To respond to all the letters and emails. And if they have properly convinced, give a proper explanation, there is a chances of getting converted into notice will be less. So law adds a vigilant and not a dormant. So keep quiet, you will not get any rescue. Reply to avoid frivolous demands. Okay, furnish the complete information that I have already talked about.
Concentrate reply along with supporting case laws plus circulars. Mark to highest officer if the lower people are not listening or understanding. So as I told that issue of that holding subsidiary, we took it the highest person, principal commissioner there. Then she understood this is not correct and she told that this should not be happening. She took it, a call. So that sort of a thing is something which will work. Take acknowledgement for manual submissions. Any submission, take an acknowledgement so that things are on record and that will get a lesser chance. Update email IDs and address and GST and take a professional support wherever required. So these are a few things I thought I should discuss with you. I've slightly overshooted my time. Thank you all for the patience listening. I'm open for any questions.
Give a big round of applause. Any questions, please? You have any doubts, would you like to ask?
Yeah, you can start asking questions, if anything is there.
So we already completed we received the show cause notices up to 21-22. And the department says there are no other further audits. Is it true or?
No, up to show cause notice issued, you can also be given auditors. So these are two independent. A show cause notice, especially in Telangana, came out because of that IT tool which I talked about. It should have been actually ASMP. It directly went into show cause notice, right? Audit, even for a particular period, you have got a show cause notice, order has been confirmed, dropped, whatever it is there, you can still be subjected to audit. But in that audit, they cannot issue a show cause notice for the same issue which was already issued and dropped or already issued and confirmed. Say for example, you have already got a show cause notice for 2A versus 3B. When they come for an audit, they cannot take 2A versus 3B. They can take something else, classification, valuation, place of supply, wrong payment of tax, all those things they can take.
Because for all the 4 years almost we got similarly for the all of the 2A, 2B and 3A difference, ineligible ITC and the wrong HSN code mentioned.
So except for this, audit party has the power to check anything else.
Like, say there is a one superintendent passes an order, they cannot touch the remaining superintendents or anybody, any official are not going to take against that. But in GST, is the limitation is there or
Still, sir, same if an order has been passed on a particular issue, that cannot be reopened. All that what they can do is department can go for a appeal.